All right, going live, going. Okay, I think that's better now. I think that's better. That should be better now. That should be better now. Okay, so we had a little issue with the previous one. Um, but it should be live now. It should be voice and everything right now. I don't know what happened. I don't know what went wrong. Um, but hopefully it's all good now. Uh Hopefully it is all good. But yeah, we are live right now, live from the village right now. Um, it is 27th of August, 2024 right now. I'm in London, England right now. And today I went running. Isoline, yay, it's working. Awesome, awesome. I'm not sure what happened. Like, I was checking all the stuff like the microphone and things like that, and everything seems to be working. But for some reason, the voice weren't coming through, but it's working now. So we got it resolved, at least for this particular stream. But Isaline, how you been? Appreciate you coming through to this live stream. Um, how's your day going? How's your day been? Oof. At least everything is fine. Indeed, indeed. You got to be grateful for things working when they work, even if it is temporary. Hopefully it's not temporary. Hopefully it just works now. But one shall see. One shall see. But yeah, what took one in Isaline world? So today I went running today. Um, I ran for I don't even know. I ran for 5 point something miles, like 5.4 miles, 5.3, 5.4, something like that. Oh, it was over 5 miles. And then I walked for 3 point something miles, like maybe about 3.5 miles. And then I cycled around 6 something miles, 6 point whatever miles. So I was quite active today. I was quite active today. I'm trying to be well, let me not say that because that's not quite accurate. I guess I've been for the least the past year, I've been a bit more health conscious than I have been in the past. Like I've always been somewhat health conscious and I've always, looked at, ways to improve my health, but I haven't always stuck with it. I've kind of been in and out or stuff like that. Like I've been running running I've done for years, but I haven't really been consistent with running. Like it'd be something I do once every whenever, but certainly in the last year, maybe a little more over a year, I feel like I've definitely been a lot more consistent with being healthy, and taking steps to be healthy. I'm not saying that I've got it right every single time. I'm certainly not saying that my health routine is perfect. It could definitely do with some improvement, but I feel like I have been pretty consistent with, especially with running. I've been running like 2 to 3 times a week, every week for at least a year now. So I've been pretty consistent with that. So I just need to. Well, I guess my diet is okay. It's not bad, but I probably do take a few liberties with my food sometimes. So, what up, little Jakes? Little Jakes in the place. How's your day going? How's your day been? Appreciate you joining this live stream. Islene's been sick. Oh, my immune system doesn't like me. Oh no. But I've decided that tomorrow I'll continue my painting. Maybe start streaming. Oh, nice. Painting and streaming. Are you going to stream while painting? Is that the idea, or your stream is unconnected to your painting? Like, what's your streaming content like? But that's awesome that you do painting. Art is well, I think being creative is something I consider to be very important. I feel like everybody has a creative outlet, but I also believe that not everybody explores their creative outlet. I feel like our society, um, but when I say us, I'm talking about Western culture, like sort of European centric culture. It might be a little different depending on which specific parts of Europe you're in. Hopefully, your part is a bit better at this, but generally speaking, sort of Eurocentric American culture, things like that, Western culture, it has a very heavy focus on the corporate, climbing the corporate ladder and that kind of thing. And that's not bad. I'm not saying that that's a bad thing. It's just that I don't feel like there's enough emphasis on being creative and exploring that side of yourself. So I feel like we need more creatives and less corporates in my opinion. So it's always good to hear when somebody has a creative outlet that they're fully exploring. So big up to Isleen for that. um Health is wealth indeed. A minute, your diet needs work. Well, yeah, I mean, I'll say it does need work. I will say it's not bad. Like, I tend to keep my calories to somewhere around 2,000 calories a day most days. I think in the last week, I've definitely let it go over that. In the last maybe week or two, I've definitely let it go over that. Like, I ain't trying to front, but for the most part, I feel like I keep to somewhere around 2,000 calories a day. I don't I'm not always getting the right amount of protein though, and that's probably where I need to improve, like making sure I'm getting enough protein. I mean, I don't skimp on the protein, don't get me wrong. I'm not, it's not like that bad. It's not like I'm missing protein completely. But whereas I probably need somewhere around 110 calories, I probably need somewhere around about 110 grams of protein a day, approximately around 110 grams of protein a day. I'm probably not always doing that. Maybe around about 60, 70. I think in the last week it's probably been, actually I think in the last week it's probably been higher just because I've been eating more just anyway. Um, but yeah, that's probably where the improvement I think I really need to focus on is just making sure that I'm getting that 110 grams of protein a day. It's not that it's hard to do it, it's just more so that I don't it's because if you to do it, you end up eating a lot of the same foods over and over again. And I know that's a very much a West, or what you call it, a first world problem. you know, it's very much a first world problem when you're like, oh man, I gotta eat the same foods over and over again. Um, when you kind of look at staying within a a certain amount of calories and having a certain amount of protein, um, the choices of foods that you eat on a regular basis get limited. And that's where the difficulty is, like just eating the same foods over and over again. I ain't gonna lie, I like my cakes, I like my biscuits, I like my donuts, you know what I mean? So yeah, this past week I've definitely been letting it go a little bit more than I probably should have. But yeah, try and get back on track before I do any damage. You have a good bank holiday. Yeah, it's been okay. Been okay. I mean, I was working. Well, I was working on Sunday, but yeah, not yesterday. So yesterday was the bank holiday. So yeah, um, so yeah, I wasn't working then. Just what did I do yesterday actually? I mean, I wasn't cab working. I should say I was doing work around the house. So clean the house, clean the car, took care of the lawn. Not the lawn. It's not a lawn. We don't have a lawn. But the garden and the front porch, so the front driveway, took out like the weeds from the front driveway. Then I had to put like the sort of chemical cleaner, weed killer, so it doesn't grow back too quickly. I mean, because with the garden, I also de-weeded the garden last week and didn't have much of the chemicals left. So so here's the thing: when you take the weeds out of the garden, right, off the like your, if you've got the bricks, the patio, stuff like that, you take the weeds off of that. You're supposed to put like a chemical weed killer or cleaner or whatever on it. And I had some last week, but I didn't have a lot left. So I mixed it with water. But at that point, it's very diluted. So I had to get another bottle. It's like a 5 liter bottle of chemicals to put down. But also, so I did the garden again to make sure that there's enough to keep the weeds from growing back too quickly. And then with the front driveway, just taking the weeds out of that. There's not as much weeds in the front driveway, so it doesn't take as long. But yeah, took the weeds out of the front driveway, then yeah, laid the chemical down in the front driveway. So yeah, that's just housework, just housework. That was my day, just housework. It's gonna be done, man. It's gonna be done. I don't mind doing it. I feel like I'm past that part of my life where you look at house chores and you start thinking, "Oh man, do I have to do this? It's not fair." It's not. I feel like when you're a child, that's the kind of attitude. I think as you get older, I don't know if you enjoy it, but I think you just get an appreciation for doing it. At least I do anyway. I don't know. Maybe you might tell me something different, but I feel like you definitely get you either start to really enjoy it, like I do. I know there's some people who definitely enjoy like housework and cleaning and things like that. I feel like that's either that happens or you don't necessarily enjoy it, but you do have an appreciation for doing it. And certainly once it's done, that feeling of I did that and it's taken care of is a good feeling, like that's done because we all like to be lazy and leave things and not do this and not do that. But when you do that and then weeds are growing and you're looking out in your garden and it's just like a jungle of weeds. You look at your garden, it's just a jungle. Like it's not even like tropical. It's weeds. It's just weeds and yeah, you got to take care of that. Got to take care of that. So yeah, took out the weeds. Had to hand pull them out. So I went for the whole garden. Just I got like a pick that you just kind of use to kind of scrape it out because you have to try and get as much of the roots of the weed as possible, which is difficult when it's grown in between the bricks. Is actually, you can get it out, but it's difficult to get all the roots out. So you just really just kind of end up ripping it out and just hoping you get at least some of the roots, but you don't always. But yeah, just did that for the whole garden. The good thing about weeds, or one of the good things I can say about weeds, if you ever de-weed your garden, right, or anything, rather than throwing away the weeds, which of course is an option, you can actually use them for compost. So what you do is that you can get composters, which I don't have a composter, but you can get a composter where you put it in this drum and then it turns, like when the insects like the worms and the snails and slugs and things, they go inside the drum and they start chewing on the weeds and things like that, and basically just pooping out what they chew, and what they poop out is your compost, it's your soil, and that goes to the bottom. I don't have that, but I do have it's just a bucket really. It's not really good for composting because it's difficult to get the soil out from the bottom. But the point I'm making is that you can compost your weeds as instead of just throwing them out. And that way you've always got like new soil that you can use to put down on your garden, or if you use it will use it on your house. I would say if you're going to use it on your house plants, make sure you clean it first though, because like it's not going to be clean soil that comes out. It's not going to be the same type of soil that you buy from the shops, right? But you do have basically fresh soil from composting weeds or any kind of like dead roots or dead leaves or any if you got like flowers in your garden, when the flowers when the petals like die off, you can compost those as well. You can pretty much compost a lot of things, food, like old food, you can compost that. Loads of things you compost. You can actually compost dead animals as well, though probably not a good idea, just because like if it's not a good idea if you plan on growing like fruits and vegetables and things like that. You don't want to be composting dead animals. Because at that point you don't know what you're putting in soil. You don't know what it is. So like it can be done, but maybe don't do it, especially if you plan on growing anything that you want to eat afterwards. But yeah. That was my that was my bank holiday. Yo, what up, Earthshake? Man like Earthshake. Yeah, I think it will be. Oh, I've missed a bunch of stuff. So I rambled for a while. Sorry, I missed a lot of the chat. Let me try and catch up with the chat a little bit, because I think I've missed quite a bit of the chat now. How you doing? Yeah, I think that will be it. I'm a shy person, and I feel like being creative while streaming would be a good way to start trying to get over my anxiety. Oh, indeed, indeed. In fact, there's a lady who I follow on Instagram called Michaela Henry Lowe. She's an artist, and she posts a lot of videos of her painting, and then speeds it up for the video. I don't know if I think she has done a few streams on Insta with herself painting as well. But yeah, something like that. If you look up Michaela Henry Lowe on Instagram, that might be a good one to follow, because it'd be a similar kind of content to posting yourself while painting. Could get worse. We'll see. Well, hopefully not. Is you keeping the weight down, Haze? Well, I'm trying, man. I'm trying. I find intermittent fasting is good for me. It keeps the weight. Yeah, intermittent fasting is good. I used to. Well, I still kind of do that every now and then. I haven't done it this week, but I was intermittent fasting once a week for a while, but yeah, I didn't do it this week. I just felt a bit off this week. So I just felt, you know what, let me allow it for this week. I might go back to it next week, so I'm feeling. But yeah, doing like a 1 or 2 days a week, 3 days a week, depending on how you feel, but or what you need. But yeah, that doing that once a week where you just don't eat for 20 hours or whatever. Yeah, that's a good thing. You only live once, so of course you should eat good food indeed. So I guarantee what might happen tomorrow. That is so true. That is so true. So enjoy it while you can. Eat that cake. Tomorrow might never come, so eat that cake. Um, I hate having too much fat on my body. But I love food, so I'm conflicted. And that's the thing. That's why one of the reasons I think intermittent fasting is good as well. Because if you like to eat, you can have a day where you eat a bit more, but then you have the day where you don't eat at all, or near enough for the whole day, you just don't eat at all. So yeah, it can be a good way of balancing out that kind of thing. If you like to eat, I like to eat, so yeah. I don't know if you remember me with the yeah, no, I remember. Yeah. I remember you've been in the chat a few times now. So yeah, big up coming through Earthshake, formerly known as Neymar. Yeah, how was your day? My day is going all right, man. Did some running today, did some exercise today. So yeah, quite active. A little bit of weed with a little bit of cash, with a little bit of this, with a little bit of that. We gonna be all right. That's the song, isn't it? XXX Tentacion, the remedy of that's the song, okay. Yeah, XXX Tentacion. Oof. Yeah, tragic, man. Tragic what happened to him. Rest in peace. AIDS is also good for the digestive system. Okay. It helps to purge your system. Yeah, I fast one day, then I eat like a crazy on my cheat day. That's how it gotta be, man. How it gotta be. But yeah, man. I could do a food eating challenge the way I eat. Have you seen those food eating challenges? Like, those guys can put it away. Like, there's one guy that I watch sometimes called Matt Stoney, and his nickname is the Toad, like Matt the Toad Stoney. And he's got a lot of videos on YouTube where he does these eating challenges, but he is a professional, you know, food eater, professional eater, and he does competitions as well. But even on his YouTube challenges, like the amount of food this dude can put away is ridiculous. And he's not a big dude. Like, let me see if I can find a picture of him actually. Let me see if I can find a picture of him. Matt Stoney. He's not a big dude at all. Like, hey, there's a few good pictures. Yo, what up, Frozen G? Frozen G in a place to be. Yeah, I mean, look at this guy. This is Matt Stoney. Enlarge that picture a little bit. And maybe this one actually. See how that he's not a big dude at all. Like he can eat. Like this man can eat. Like I've watched his videos and he just eats. Like he's eating food that's bigger than he is. That's crazy. It's actually crazy. But it's mad because like when you look at people who are professional eaters, like professional contest eaters, a lot of them, well, not a lot, but certainly quite a few of them are not big people. Like, there's definitely some big ones out there for sure. I ain't saying that. But a lot of them aren't, really big people. They're just like maybe not as skinny as this guy, but they're not as big as you might think with the amount of food they eat. But apparently, not even apparently, what it does come down to is calories in versus calories out. This guy, like I've seen what he does. Like he spends a lot of time running. He would eat all this food, but he would run a lot. So like the amount of calories he burns off afterwards to keep his body down and weight down, um, like it's a lot of running. And there's another guy actually, this guy Beard Meets Food, and this guy's he eats a lot. He's a bit bigger. He's a bit bigger, and he's a bit more ripped as well. But yeah, he's another dude that just can eat. Like he puts it away. But yeah, it's a lot of running, a lot of exercise, you know, and that's how you can eat all that food and stay pretty ripped, you know. It's actually mad. Like, and it's one of the reasons why I kind of feel like, as much as I'd like to be one of these like food YouTubers, I mean, look, I like to run. I like to. I try to stay exercise. I don't know if I want to be running as much as you need to run with the amount of food you'd have to eat as a YouTube a food content creator. The amount of, even if you're not doing these big food challenges, you still eat a lot of food as a food content creator, right? So the amount of running you'd have to do to burn off all those calories, I'm not sure I've got the discipline to do that. So there's plenty of times where I thought to myself, I want to do food reviews. I want to be a food content creator. There's plenty of times I thought that to myself, and I'm like, you know what? I don't want to end up with weight problems. You know, like, I don't want to end up with weight problems. I don't want to end up with like all kinds of health problems like diabetes. I mean, to be fair, some of these things could happen anyway. I get that. But you certainly don't want to do things that increase the chances of it, right? So no, I think the amount of exercise you'd have to do that these guys put themselves through in order to eat as much as they eat. Nah, fair play to them, but that's just not me. That's not me. All right, let me catch up a little bit. Yo, what up, Brax? Brax Spivin, the place to bivy. Oh, I know Badlands Chugs. Yeah, yeah. Badlands Chugs is awesome. He's a big dude, though. Badlands is a big dude. But yeah, I do watch his videos from time to time. Oh yeah, bed meets food. I just yeah, put. Sorry, I wrote that before I saw your message. My bad. Sorry, but yeah. Um, Oh wait, I'm missing a lot of the chat. Damn, man. Damn. Let me catch up. It was bad. I thought one day we could eat like as much as challenge. EY Cabron, chill out. I am CJ Carl Johnson. What up, homie? CJ Carl Johnson. Ain't that Grand Theft Auto? Grand Theft Auto was San Andreas. When I'm at a calorie deficit, I don't play with my food. You gotta keep them calories low on them days. Check out Basic food. Check out Badlands Sucks. Yeah, Frozen. Frozen G in the place to be. The universe makes it. Don't put any kilograms in when you eat like him. If you don't, you put. He's trying to put some bunch of meal on him, but isn't working well. Maybe food. Chucks don't play. He can chuck it. Oh, for sure, for sure. How Braun Strowman looks into it. Yeah. He's pretty ripped now, actually. Braun Strowman, he's pretty ripped. Like I mean, he's always been a big dude. He still is a big dude, but he's definitely got more muscle now. So he's kind of like a bit leaner. Um, but yeah, he's still huge. Like he's he's a bit leaner than he was maybe like 3 years ago, like 3, 4 years ago. But yeah, he's still huge. He's still huge. That's good. Chug the no, you ever seen that one where like a Badlands chugs the ocean? I mean, of course he doesn't actually drink the ocean, but it was like one of these million subscriber videos or something like that. Um, but yeah, I think it was yeah, this one. I watched that whole video because it's kind of a small clip here. Oh wait, you're not seeing what I'm seeing. One sec. Oh wait.
Let's get it. Enough talk. Mm, mm,
But yeah, this guy can drink. This dude can drink. Let's follow the damn train, CJ. I've been playing GTA 4 a lot lately actually. I played it some today actually. Played about an hour of GTA 4 today. Speaking of GTA, that is. Black Jabba the Hutt. Got some things on my tablet. All right, 400 pounds, I think. Chucks had the aquatic life in the ocean scared. For real, for real. If you remember how old Solo looks from WWE and how he is now, big difference. Solo, I don't remember old Solo. I don't remember. I don't know. Sure, I know Solo is actually. This dude would impact the ecosystem. Nah, he could like he does these ones like them like gallon ones where he just like drinks a whole gallon. And the match things that the dude does not come up for air. You know what I mean? Like the dude does not come up for air. Like he's just like done. And he does eating as well. Like he actually does professional contest eating as well. Um, but yeah, I ain't trying to be that big. I ain't trying to be that big. Google solo WWE old versus now. Okay. Oh, he's one of the new guys. I think I've seen pictures of him around the internet. But yeah, like he's like Roman Reigns' cousin, I think, or something. I don't know. They're all related to Roman Reigns at this point. You know what I mean? They're all related to The Rock. Like every Samoan wrestler is related to The Rock somehow. But yeah, I don't know him that well just because I'm not following WWE that closely these days. But yeah, I've seen this guy's pictures around. Um, his daily calorie intake must be enough to fill a giant's body. Well, his body is very big, so yeah. But that's the thing, though. Like when I mean, he does like a lot of these drink challenges, and even drinks could be high in calorie, like especially a lot of these high sugar drinks. Like Coca Colas and things like that. They could be pretty high up there in calories as well. So you might not think it because it's liquid, right? But yeah, even drinks could be pretty high up there in calories. So like you're doing these challenges, you're drinking a lot, you're eating a lot, and maybe not exercising as much. I'm guessing, right? And yeah, it's going to affect your size is going to increase when that happens. So yeah, no, I ain't trying to do that. I ain't trying to do that. Who is he not kin to? Damn near kin anyone. Who is who not kin to? Sorry, I might miss something there. Chuck's cholesterol level must be through the roof. Oof. Freaking me out when legends of WWE stars play their career in like win the streak or retire. Why they do that? Was that what Solo's doing now? Solo going solo. Speaking of wrestling, rest in peace to Sid Vicious. I don't know if you guys heard today, but yeah, Sid Vicious passed away. Sid Vicious was an old school wrestler. I ain't know if you know old school wrestling, Mr. Shake, but if you do, then you would know Sid Vicious. But yeah, he passed away today, or was it yesterday? It was recently. It was yesterday. Sorry, yesterday. Passed away yesterday. Um, Sid Udy, his real name is Sid Raymond Udy. Passed away from cancer. So rest in peace to Sid Vicious. But yeah, I remember Sid Vicious from back in the it was like 90s. Back in the day, I used to watch. I mean, I watched wrestling up until about 2000 and I want to say 2013, 15, maybe approximately around about then. And certainly from around maybe 2000 sort of 5 or so onwards, it was very much kind of off and on my wrestling watching. And then but yeah, 90s, like sort of mid 90s, late 90s, like we didn't have Sky, so we will get it, we'll get rested from like friends if they record it, or if you're at your friend's house, whatever, you someone who had it and they might lend you a tape, or if you're at somebody's house, you can watch it there. So we never had it ourselves. But I remember Sid Vicious like just being one of the guys that I'd watch from, when that's at somebody's house or whatever. And you know, but yeah, it was Sid Vicious. For a little while, he was Sid Justice, I think. If I remember correctly, there was a short stint where he was Sid Justice. Um, but yeah, Sid Vicious was the main one. Um, yeah, man, rest in peace, a legend, legend of wrestling. That album was brutal. Should have trained Goldberg on how to wrestle as a big man. Goldberg had that whole thing on speaking of was it stints like streaks? He had that whole streak about, was it 200 or something matches with no loss. Then it ended on some, I can't remember. I wasn't paying attention to WCW. But yeah, they did that. Dolph Ziggler. I like Dolph. I like Dolph. Is he still wrestling though? I don't know. Part of the Four Horsemen. Yeah, yeah. Seen his face before. Probably never really knew of him. Oh, we talk about Badlands. He has a music career as well. Badlands Chugs. I don't know if you know that, but Badlands Chugs actually he has an album out. Yeah, maybe even two albums out. But he definitely has at least one album out. He has at least one album out. But yeah, he's a dude's a singer. He's got some raps. Man's got some raps. Man's got bars. Randy Orton to Roman Reigns. Hey Roman, you're a legend. I'm a legend killer. Is Roman Reigns considered a legend though? I don't know. I like Roman Reigns. He's done some cool stuff, no doubt. But I don't know if I'd consider him a legend. I think that's a bit too early to consider him a wrestling legend. He's definitely done some cool stuff in his career so far, but his career is about 10 years. All right. Like he's been in WWE for about 10 years, and I guess wrestling for a little bit more than that, to be fair. So his wrestling career is say about 15 years or so, give or take. Um, which is a while, it's no short stint, but I don't know if that's enough to call yourself a wrestling legend, or to could be considered a wrestling legend. Not when you've got careers that span, 20 years. You know what I mean? And you look at people like Undertaker. Undertaker's a name that like even if you don't watch wrestling, the Undertaker or The Rock or Triple H. Like these are names that outside of wrestling. So there's certain people I feel like they transcend the wrestling business. Roman Reigns, I'm not sure he does, at least not to the same level. Like, I mean, he's done like some movies and stuff. So I'm sure there's people that know of him. He's not nobody at saying that. But yeah, I'm not sure he's quite that level where you could consider him a legend. But he's on that path, no doubt. I think, give another 5 years, 10 years, whatever, stuff like that. I think there's a point where he's on that path to be one day considered a wrestling legend. I'm not sure that's now, but yeah, I think he's on that path. Don't mess it up. As long as you don't screw it up. As long as you don't screw it up. But he's on the path. I'm not sure he's right there now. Sid Vicious teamed up with Vader, and there were called most of the power. I don't remember that, no, but that must have been awesome, though. That must have been awesome. That's the thing, because we didn't get it consistently back then. But I remember watching him. But because we didn't have like Sky ourselves, like it was just like whenever we can get it. But so yeah, that must have missed that. But man, that must have been awesome. Like I remember Vader as well. Another wrestler. Rest in peace, a big Van Vader. Oldest person in the world died around last week. She was 117 from Spain. The oldest person in the world will never die though, because whoever dies is then no longer the oldest person in the world. It's an expert noun, right? So the oldest person in the world is always going to be alive, right? I think that's how that works. Like you can't be dead and the oldest person in the world. You could be the oldest person, that the longest living person, or you could be that, right? But you can't be the oldest person in the world and be dead. Like you're not the oldest then. Like you was maybe you was, you not are. But rest in peace to the former oldest person in the world, 117 years old from Spain. It's a long time, man. Oh yeah, Chugs, man. That big boot. Oh yeah, that does boot. Yeah, yeah, does boot. Bars and he eats bars. He eats MCs literally. Badlands Booker. That's his rap name or his music name. But yeah, he's got. Let's see. He's got a few albums out. He's got at least 4 albums. Let me see. It might be more. No, it's more than 4. Oh, he's got quite a few albums actually. He's got quite a few albums, like 5, 6. He's got a few albums out. He's got quite a few albums out, like going back to 2004. And the most recent one was 2018. So he's been doing this thing for a minute. He's been doing this thing for a minute. I don't care what he is or ain't. He's good for entertainment. But if you think he's good for entertainment, you should care what he is or ain't because that's part of his entertainment. Like it's kind of how it works. Like who you are is part of your entertainment. So if you like the entertainment, there should be at least a basic level of care to what he is or ain't. I'm not saying you got to be in his life like that, but some basic level of human caring of what somebody who provides value to you is or ain't stands to reason. Uh, Five world heavyweight championships, I think. Orton, yeah, Orton's got a lot. He's Orton's been around a long time now. Yeah, even Orton, I think, like, I'm not sure how to call him wrestling legends just yet. But yeah, I feel like he's definitely on the path though. Orton is definitely on the path to wrestling legend. Like, in fact, he's probably like very close to teetering on that wrestling legend status. Like, I think like right now, when I think of legends of wrestling, I'm not sure I'll consider Orton in there, but he's definitely on that path, and he's definitely very close, I think, to that path of like being a wrestling legend. In fact, yeah, actually, you know what? I think to be fair, he is. I mean, especially considering the RK out of nowhere has vastly transcended wrestling. Right, the RK out of nowhere has done its own for that. That's got its own life at this point. RK out of nowhere. Like, there's people who probably don't even know, don't never watched a day of wrestling, never watched a wrestling show in their life, but they know about the RK out of nowhere. You know what I mean? And that's a whole life in itself. So yeah, I feel like Randy Orton. No, I would no. Yeah, he's got that legendary status for sure. He's got a legendary status. Like I was a bit on the fence about it, but now I'm thinking about it. It's like, yeah, nah, he's there. He's there. You could drink anyone under the bar. You probably can actually. It was my favorite wrestling. Yeah, he did those Boys Meet World episodes. Remember those? He was in Boy Meets World a bunch of times as one of the kids' fathers. Like that big kid. I forget his name right now, but he played his dad. And so he appeared in like a few episodes. Let's see. Never did. It was the Great Khali versus on. Oh yeah, yeah. Great Khali. I mean, Great Khali. By the time he came into wrestling, Andre the Giant long since passed away. So that was never going to happen, really. But I like the Great Khali. He kind of got underused a bit. I think he got underused, but he had his thing. He had his thing. He had a championship at one time. Short-lived championship, but he had one. Hit to modern day wrestlers, Andre the Giant would be considered a giant now. I mean, he was a giant then, literally Andre the Giant. So like, he was a giant then. He was a giant now. Like, I mean, he was 7 foot something. I think. How tall was Andre the Giant? he was up there like 2.24 meters. What's that in feet? 2.24 meters. Yeah, that's seven. It's 7.3. He's seven. He's over 7 foot. He's over 7 foot. It's over 7 foot. And he weighed 236 kilograms. Yo, nah, he was a giant then. He's a giant. He'd still be a giant now. Like there's no part of the world. There's no era in the world where you can say Andre the Giant would not be considered a giant. I mean, even like you had Jorge Gonzalez, he was 2.44 meters, so he's even taller. Then Paul White's The Big Show, he was 2.13 meters, so he was actually shorter than Andre the Giant. Weighed a lot less as well, but then again, to be fair, I know Big Show lost a lot of weight in times as well, so that could be part of it. But even still, big dudes, man, big dudes. Yo, what up, Sam? Sam B in a place to be. How is ye? So Kane and Undertaker is real brothers, ain't they? No, they're not. No, they're not. Apparently, though, I don't know how close they are now, but at one time, Undertaker was training at the gym that Kane owns or owned. I mean, this is a story I heard a long time ago. I don't know how true it was, but yeah, they're not real brothers. But I think at least at one time they were pretty close in real life. But yeah, they're not actual real brothers. No. How's your day going? How's your day been? Appreciate you joining this live stream on this Tuesday evening. You consider Hulk Hogan a legendary status because I think he was an awful wrestler. He was, but I mean, in fairness, he is still legendary status. When you think of wrestling, legends of wrestling, Hulk Hogan is a name. You know, like he vastly transcended wrestling during his time. He's one of the biggest stars on the planet at the time, from wrestling to movies, TV shows, other things he did. Yeah, his wrestling wasn't that great. Like, it really wasn't, but he got the crowd so hyped, right? Like even up until sort of the 2000s, where he went to WCW for a while, WCW for a while, and he came back to WWF and he WWE, excuse me, and then he that match with The Rock is just one of the greatest matches of all time, in my opinion, just because of how hype everything was. Um, so yeah, he wasn't a great wrestler for sure. He really wasn't, but he knew how to work the crowd. He knew how to leverage his fame and his character and that whole thing. And you have to remember that wrestling isn't just a sport; it's entertainment. It's sports entertainment, so it all kind of goes in together. So you might not be good at this bit, but if you're really good at the other bit, you can still do well. So yeah, and Hulk Hogan, and he's definitely had his controversies, shall we say, over the years, and a few in recent times. But yeah, you got to give. I mean, if you talk about legendary wrestlers, love him or hate him, Hogan is a name up there. So yeah, I mean, Orton has his own sausage. Okay, well, like a own brand. All right, need to go. Have a good day, night, different time, bro. All right, bro. You appreciate coming through Earthshake till whenever, if ever. I'm usually live streaming each week at around 8 p.m. ish GMT. The ish is important. But yeah, appreciate coming through. Maybe see you soon. Waiting for death. Oof, I'm so tired. Oh, that don't sound too good. Hopefully, well, hopefully your tiredness passes. You get some rest, and not the long rest, like not the permanent rest. I'm talking about like like the type of rest where you wake up in like 6-7 hours. Jacob's back, noise. Hogan was garbage. Well, I say love him or hate him. He's definitely up there with the biggest wrestling stars of all time, right? I mean, that can't be denied. You know, he might have been. I mean, that leg drop was nonsense. Let's keep it real. Like that was the immortal leg drop. That was a crap move, and it's like, and it's one of those things where it's like, I know we all understand wrestling, the entertainment side of it, and we all understand that you have to sell certain moves to make them look, more painful than they are, whatever, and that kind of thing. But the leg drop was such a useless move. But and wrestlers had to sell it. Wrestlers had to act like it was the most devastating leg drop. It was a leg drop, bro. It was a leg drop, and wrestlers had to act, and it's one of these things where you look at it like I'm like, man, this is just getting dumb, but it was entertaining. You know what I mean? It was entertaining, and he pulled it off. Can't deny that, man. Can't deny it. When he gets to the ring, the rip his shirt. He had one of the best entrance musics, real American, which yeah, I mean, when that tune come on, when that song come on, dun, 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 the crowd would just went wild. So yeah, man, love him or hate him. There's definitely plenty to not love about him, but legendary wrestler, no doubt. Done a 2-day deep clean between looking after Elliot and the kids. The housework was piling up. Yeah, we was just talking about getting the housework done. Actually, like yeah, it's got to be done, right? It's got to be done. You look. Sometimes you look at the whole thing as like like you're saying before. Like we were saying before, like you look at the house, the garden, all that kind of stuff, and you think like, man, I don't want to do it, blah blah blah. But then when it's done, and you've done it, yeah, man. That being said, it's nice to get help with these things. It's nice to get help with these things. When you're living with people and you're the only one doing it, it sucks. But it's nice to get help with these things. But yeah, man, it's gonna be when it's gonna be done. It's gonna be done. You could work the crowd. He was a cash cow. Rest no, for sure, for sure. Yeah, what up, Reese? Reese M. How you been? Favorite wrestler, Jacob, Pre-child. I did Jack. Shea. Your boy's good. The best wrestling performance I've ever seen from Hulk Hogan is when he fought Ultimate Warrior at Wrestle. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. That was a good one actually. That was a good one. A movie called Mr. Nat. Yeah, 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 yeah. Hogan used to love that when I was little. Yeah, good man. A couple of TVs fixed today. Nice. Reese be out here fixing TVs. Do the housework today, but the Dyson cordless Hoover is the ultimate labor saving device. Cordless. Do they? What's the suction on those things like? Because I feel like a cordless vacuum. I like the idea of it, but I'm not overly convinced the suctions are as good as they need to be, or I don't know. Maybe I'm guessing wrong. Like, what's the suction power on a cordless vacuum? Like, is it enough to like? It don't need to be so powerful it pulls a carpet up. Of course, like you don't need that. But is it enough to like vacuum with one stroke, or do you have to kind of go over the same spot multiple times to get things off the carpet? Like, what we talking here? Like, is it a strong enough vacuum, a strong enough suction, or is it kind of like a little bit on the weaker side? Like, what we talking here? Let me know. I need a review of a of a cordless vacuum so I could decide whether it's worth putting some money aside for one of those things one day. I mean, it won't be. I don't think it'll be for a while. My vacuum works pretty well, and I wouldn't want to buy a new vacuum just for the sake of buying a new vacuum. It'd have to be like after it breaks or something like that. Then I might look into that sort of thing. But would be nice to know for now if I can. I was doing it on my own, hence why it took 2 days. So felt it. Oh, that's nice. Got a little help at least. Got a little help. Gradual. It's incredible. You can adjust the. Okay. And is the battery good though? I mean, do you have to recharge it a lot, or once you've charged it up, can you do that whole house? Like, I mean, well, I guess it depends how big your house is, really. I don't know. You might live in a shoebox. I wouldn't know. But would you, if you got like 2 floors, 3 floors, like, is it enough to do the whole house without having to recharge, or can you do like the whole house like once, then have to recharge it? You got the like how many how much usage can you get out of the battery before you have to recharge it? That's what I'm really asking. Like, how much usage can you get out of it? Do you have to recharge like every single time, or can you leave it for a while and then recharge it just whenever? Dancing is the bollocks. Okay, okay. So it's it's good then. It's good. I used to work at the tip years ago. One of them Dyson Overs. I used to get down to about every half an hour with that raw. That okay. Well, let's see though. You said you worked at the tip years ago. So what kind of years we talking? Because they might. Because if we're talking last year, that's recent. But if we're talking like 10, 15, 20 years ago, then perhaps, hopefully, they've improved their vacuums in that time. So what kind of time frame was you? So what years were you working at the tip? The battery. Okay, the battery's not that good then. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Okay, okay. Can't wait till Elliot is well enough to go back to work. I love him, but he is driving me nuts. Off. So he's at home all day, and you actually got to talk to him now. It's like, man, you got to talk to him. You got to actually have a relationship with him now. It's like, flipping hell, I didn't sign for this. When I agreed to live with you, I didn't really want to live with you. Like, flipping hell. Now we actually have to talk to each other. This is not what I signed up for. Now we actually have to bond and get to know each other. Like, what the hell? Damn it. Sucks. 3 4s, you would get 4 sessions out of it. Okay, okay, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. I mean, if you can get four, if you could do your house, if you got 3 floors and you could do your house 4 times before you have to recharge it, that's not too bad. That's not too bad. Excuse me. Yeesh. It's like 15, 20. Okay, fair enough. Okay, that's a while ago. That's a while ago. Cool. So they hopefully, yeah, hopefully they've improved their vacuum since then. But apparently 15, 20 years ago, Dyson weren't very good at the vacuum business. Dyson actually make headphones now. Like, I saw, Marcus Brownlee on YouTube. Like, I saw one of his videos. I mean, I didn't actually watch the video, but it pops up on my recommendations about Dyson headphones. So I haven't actually watched the video yet, but apparently they're making headphones now. So yeah, why not? Hopefully they don't suck at making headphones. Not having the cord to worry about makes Uber and easy. Need to get all the broken games consoles and fix them up and sell them at Game Station or trade them in for Sense Games. That's the thing about when you work in places like that, because people throw away all kinds of stuff that sometimes they're even still in good condition. Like, I used to work in a place where we would go into like houses after they've been vacated, like council houses after they've been vacated, and we had to clear out all the old furniture and anything that's been left behind, and to get it ready for the new tenants, right? So we just clear out everything and take it to the recycle yard. And the amount of things that people would throw away or leave behind that was still in great condition, like, I mean, I used to find like loads of vinyl pieces. That's pretty much how I started collecting vinyl, really. But I'd find loads of vinyl pieces, or old Matchbox cars, and do I have one actually? I think no, that's not one of them. I found a few. That's not one of them there though. But yeah, it's crazy what people would leave behind. Like, the amount of things. I mean, of course, most of it was junk. Let's keep it real. Most of it was actually just junk. But yeah, there's definitely a lot of things that people throw away that was still in good condition, still usable. You know, some of them, there were some people who worked there that would collect stuff and sell them. I thought about doing that. Like when I, especially when I found those vinyl pieces, like my thought process was, yeah, I'm gonna collect these vinyl pieces and sell them on eBay. That's what I was thinking. I ended up keeping them because they were kind of cool. I was like, actually, these are cool. So let me just keep them. These are cool. But yeah, man, you could find a lot of good stuff in that people throw away. And if you're someone like Reese who knows how to fix things, and you can you can find a lot of, then you could definitely find a lot of stuff that not only in good condition, but stuff that okay, maybe not in great condition, but if you know how to fix it with some money on eBay or something. I bought Steam Deck OLED. It is not to be improved from the previous model. Okay, I do still want to get a Steam Deck actually. I do like the OLED version. I think they're not even selling the old ones anymore. Like you can buy them, I think, secondhand, but you can't buy them like from Steam anymore. They're just kind of discontinuing them. The OLED one looks nice though, doesn't it? I haven't got one, but I do want one because, oof, I don't know if I need one, but I like the idea of having one. I play a lot of Steam games, so it makes sense. Well, I don't, I love, but I play a few. Like a big kid at the moment. I get it. He is in a lot of pain, but for me, it's like having three kids. Oof, one real big one. Well, hopefully you don't have to change his nappy. Well, no, maybe you do. How bad is back pain? You might have to change his underwear as well, and clean him up afterwards. Help him to the toilet so he can do his business. Then wipe up. Like hopefully it's not that bad. Hopefully he can clean himself after the business. But I don't know, man. If you got to do it, boy, that's one of those tests that let you know how much you love somebody. Because people talk about, oh, I love you, I love you, I love you. But do you, if you, unless you're willing to wipe somebody else's ass for them, I don't know, man. I don't think you can say if you love somebody if you're not willing to wipe their ass. Like that's what love. That's what true love is. True love is when you're willing to wipe somebody else's ass for them, and clean their batty out after they take a shit. Like that's true love. If you're not willing to do that with somebody, I don't know, man. I don't know if you can call it love. That's maybe you might like them a little bit. But it's not love. It's not love. He can go to the toilet on his own. I had to help him to the shower though. Oh, well, that's something though. That's something. Okay, he's on normal mode for sessions. Wait, Hayes on normal mode for sessions with the Dyson. Hayes on normal. So I'm not think I might miss something. Hayes on normal mode for sessions with the Dyson. I might have missed something about. Not sure what that referring to, little Jake. Sorry. Oh, flipping hell, man. Can you? Oh, this thing's annoying. Yeah, I think I might have missed something. Sorry, little Jake's not sure what that's about. I'm proud to scavenge. Nice. Bin raking, yeah. I found a backpack with SNES in it, a bunch of games and pads, etc. Had a scope. Oh, crazy. That is mad. That is mad. Why would you just throw that? That's what probably happened. That's probably like somebody's like mom or dad or something that was like, oh, these stupid old games that can lift, that kind of thing. Found it in the attic because I haven't played it for years, and like all these stupid old games consoles and throw them away. That's probably what happened. Some old parent that just didn't realize what it was or didn't, man. Send my own Steam. Okay, put it on eBay. It's all different now. You can't take anything from the tip as soon as it's out of someone's car, touches the floor at the tip. It's legally the tip saying you can't. Oh, really? That sucks. That sucks, man. I mean, okay, I guess there's the legality of it. Like maybe they have to be clear on legal stuff, but surely it can't be an issue. I mean, if you're taking stuff from the tip, you're just kind of making their job easier because it means there's less for them to have to deal with, right? So I guess like, okay, fine. Legally, it belongs to the tip. Okay, yo, what up, Pinkston? Legally, it belongs to the tip. Fine, that's the legal stuff. But surely it could be like, okay, but on an unofficial thing, they don't necessarily. I don't know. Like it feels like you're doing them a favor by taking stuff from there because there's less for them to do. And especially now where a lot of stuff gets recycled or they try to recycle it. So if you can repurpose it yourself, why is that a bad thing? That's mad though. Like some of these rules they make are just dumb. Hey, if somebody tells you they love you, but they're not willing to wipe your ass for you, they don't really love you. That's, that's Hayes Advice 101. Unless they're willing to wipe your ass for you, they don't really love you. They don't really love you. They're lying. That's how you, if you want to test someone out, if you want to test someone, if someone, if you got a girlfriend, a boyfriend, and you're not sure if they love you, just say, hey, my back's hurting. My hands are broken. Can you want to ask for me? She's like, nah, she don't love you. Just dump her. Dump her, divorce her, whatever you got to do. Get rid of him. Get rid of him. Dump him, divorce him. Just get rid of him. They're not willing to wipe your ass for you. They don't love you. Please don't do that. For too much longer. Alright, Dyson has free modes on normal mode, which I use it on. I can use it 4 times. Oh, I see what you mean. So like the different level modes. So as long as it's on normal mode, it doesn't take up too much battery and you can use it for gotcha, gotcha. Okay. Cool. And that still provides a good cleaning level though with that normal mode. That's my next question. Does the normal mode provide that it's still a good cleaning, or was it a struggle on normal? Starting to get to me a bit. Jacob can't lie. Oof. Better give him some pills or something. Let's go for free. It's getting you kids. Oh, really? Damn, nice. Because it's supposed to be out in like October, I think. So that's soon. That's like a couple of months. And it's coming to the cinema. Ooh. I like the sound of that. I like the sound of that. I haven't been cinema for ages. Actually, that's not true. I went cinema last year. It's a long time ago. It's a long time ago. But I used to go cinema a lot. I haven't been cinema for yeah since last year now. Since Dune 2 was the last movie I watched in the cinema. It's been a while. It won't be for too much longer. Hang in there, yeah, indeed. Yeah, for a few more weeks yet. Oof. You might need another holiday for. Just take a holiday and leave him there. Just leave some donuts out. Be fine. It's really good. Okay, cool, cool, cool. So it's good level of cleaning, decent battery for as long on normal mode, and can still clean pretty well without having to recharge too much. Okay, that's good to know. It's good to know. Bags can be awful, especially slip discs. I think the last time I went to the cinema was to watch Pick of Destiny. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Tenacious D. That was years ago, man. Damn. I'm campaigning the last one was last year. I think the last thing you must have met was like 5, 6, 7 years ago or something. Like, what was that movie? That was years ago. I need vacation afternoons and very long. You should take a vacation now. Just don't come back to these healthy. That's what you do. Just take a bit. You're like, yeah, I need to go on holiday. You need to go on holiday. I've been working too much. I need a break. You're on your own for the next 7 weeks. I am looking forward to Terrifier 2, though. I'm looking forward to it. I mean, for one thing, it's a Christmas movie. Well, it's they're saying it's a Christmas movie. I'm hoping it's a proper Christmas movie and not just, a movie set during Christmas. Yeah, it's due for release 25th of October 2024. So yeah, about 2 months from now. It is due out in about 2 months from now. I've not watched any trailers for it. I've seen a few images, but I've not watched any trailers. I want to keep it that way. I want to keep it that way because I don't want to see anything that could potentially spoil the experience. How did you have to do the knowledge test? Oh, like for cab driving? No, no, I didn't. Um, we had to do what's called a topographical test, which is basically a map reading test. Um, but that's no way near as in depth as the knowledge. Not even close. The knowledge, to my understanding, at least in a way, is learning loads of like London roads and memorizing them and that kind of thing. And people who do the knowledge, I think they do it over like a 3 year period or something, 3 or 4 year period where they're studying it and that kind of thing. So it's a long, intense studying period and course. So it's a lot that the knowledge, at least what I understand of it. I mean, I've not done it, so I don't know firsthand. But from what I know, it's a lot. But yeah, we didn't have to do that. We just had to do a topographical test, along with things like like health checks and criminal record checks and stuff like that. And more recently, they've introduced a what's called a SERU test, which stands for safety, ec- equality, regulate. I can't remember what it stands for. But it's basically to do with safeguarding and stuff like understanding how to deal with certain situations, like if somebody gets angry, what to do, if somebody gets violent, what to do, how to try to, de-escalate a situation or how to not cause a situation. It's stuff that honestly you probably already know, or at least you should really. Like don't swear at somebody, that sort of thing. Um, I mean, you can if you want to, honestly. Like if somebody pisses you off and you want to. But I mean, as far as doing the test goes, you're supposed to pick don't swear at people. What I mean? But yeah, stuff that you probably already know, but so it's not a hard test. But yeah, they've introduced that in the last, I think, year-ish, just give or take, that we've all had to do. But yeah, no knowledge test specifically. Bad back is worse. You really take for granted how much we use our backs in virtually every minute. For sure, for sure. I'm going open at night to see it. Ah, nice. 25th of October. What day is the 25th of October? Let's see. I'm going to look at my calendar. 25th of October is a Friday. Maybe, just maybe I might best go open at night as well. If it's on a go on a Friday evening, maybe. We'll see. I can't guarantee that. Of course, there's no guarantees anyway, but it's still an if, but I just might. Just might. Friday's a good day to go cinema. Especially with movies like Terrifier, because Terrifier 3 isn't like a big mainstream movie. And what that hopefully means is that you're not gonna have like a packed out cinema with, bunch of kids in there making a bunch of noise, acting like they're too cool or whatever, or that kind of stuff. Like hopefully it means you won't get that. You'll just get the people who know about it, like the fans of it. Um, and hopefully that means you have a decent time on opening day. But yeah, ways to be seen. Ways to be seen. Have you ever had anyone be I've not, no. The worst I've had, I mean, I've had people who've gotten I wouldn't say rude. At least I don't consider it rude. It's more like, when people have had a bad day or they're having a bad day or they're late for work and that kind of thing, and they might be a little bit short tempered and I've had people like that. But here's the thing. I used to work in customer services, so I'm very much used to dealing with people when they're not in good moods. You know what I mean? I did customer services for many, many years. So a big part of that is talk to people when they're not in a good mood. People don't call customer services to say thank you. At least most people don't. A few people did actually. A few it's rare, but it does happen. But yeah, vast majority of times something's gone wrong, something's happened, something unexpected, whatever. Something's pissed them off. Some for some reason they're calling, and it's usually not a good reason. And so yeah, you're very used to dealing with people in situations where they're not in good mood. So things like that happen. For me, I wouldn't say it's easy because end of the day it can still be somewhat jarring, that kind of, uh, especially when they're in your car, right? But I feel like for the most part, I handle it okay. When it's clear to me that somebody's not in a good mood, I just don't engage. Just because they're not really receptive to how's it, all that kind of stuff, or like, oh, how's your weekend, or did you watch, whatever. They're not really receptive to any kind of jovial conversation. So that kind of thing. I mean, you could pretty much tell pretty quickly, really, I'd say, because somebody gets into your car and they're either going to let it be known right away that they're in a rush or they're just not in a good mood, or you're gonna say something like, good morning, confirm their name. You might say something like, how you doing? That's usually my basic go-to question, how you doing? And depending on how they answer that, you kind of know what type of moods they're in. Even if they say, yeah, I'm fine, da da da, like you can kind of tell from the way they say it what kind of mood they're in. So once it's kind of clear to me that they're not really in a good mood, or for whatever reason they just don't feel like talking, then yeah, just leave it. Just leave it. So yeah, I've definitely had people who've been not in very good moods. I've had one person who definitely got a little bit more than feisty. I remember there's one lady. She got a little bit mad because I was asking for clarification as to what she meant. She was because she said something about, "Can you let me off?" It sounded to me like she was saying, "Let me off on the bridge." That's what it sounded like, and I was thinking that can't be right because you can't let people off on the bridge. It's a no stop zone when you're on the bridges. And so I was like, "Sorry, did you say let me off on the bridge?" And she just kind of got mad that I was asking for that kind of clarification. Um, and yeah, she definitely got a bit feisty with her response. But yeah, it's like, look, don't engage. Just don't engage. Just leave it. Let them out of the car and give them a bad rating afterwards. Rate them down afterwards. Like, yeah, you're getting a 1 star for that. As I handle those. Really do have Santa flare ups, but I'm allowed to moan. Moan and groan. Make sure you bend from the knees. That's a big thing. When you're picking things up, especially picking up heavy things, bend your knees. Keep your back straight. Bend your knees. The other day, broken back. Was gobbing off. And the driver saying he was going the wrong way. Driver brakes. So they on purpose, and the bloke who wasn't wearing a seatbelt, got smashed into the into the bulkhead thing. Yeah, I couldn't do customer services. I ended up telling people to. Bro, I came close a few times. I ain't even gonna lie, man. I came close a few times. Like one guy damn near told off actually. Like I remember one that I was doing customer services, and this guy, I don't even know. I mean, he must have just caught me on a bad day, I guess, to be fair. Like, because normally you get people like that, and I'll say for the most part, again, you're at work, you just let it go, you handle it. But I don't know, for whatever reason on this particular day, I was like, nah. And he was telling me that I remember he said to me, I'm being unreasonable. I went, no, you're being unreasonable. You know, he ended up complaining about me. He called back to complain about me, and then I got called into the manager's office, and they were, And they listened to the call, of course, and they were like, "Yeah." I mean, I think from the call you can tell like the guys has been a bit of a prick, so they were pretty easy on me when they spoke to me about it. But they're just like of saying stuff like, "Oh yeah, just try not to do that sort of thing because it's not nice, blah blah blah." Customer, blah blah, all that kind of regular stuff. But I didn't get any trouble about it. Like I didn't get any kind of warnings or any kind of serious or anything along those lines. 'Cause I think that at the time when they listened, you could tell like the guys were being a prick, and yeah, it just caught me on a bad day. You get pricks all the time, but on this particular day, for whatever reason, I don't even know why. I really don't remember what the reason was, but on this particular day, it's just like nah, hush your mouth. Yeah, patience. You have to have patience of saying to do customer services. Yeah, it's definitely have a lot of patience with people for sure. Um, I mean, my customer services. No, I've done a few different customer services, but the one I did the most was pet insurance, and that I would say, yeah, you definitely need a lot of patience because people love their pets. People love their pets. If you've got pets, people who have pets, like they're not just an animal that you have. It's not like you don't just like you just have a dog. Like that dog is family to you, right? So like when things are going wrong or things aren't happening the way they should be happening, or at least the way they think they should be happening with their pet insurance, and there's a possibility that a claim might not get paid out or things like that. It's not. It's yeah. They're not calm about it. You know what I mean? People are not calm about it. Like they'll let you know. So yeah, definitely gotta breathe a lot. I'm off the bed, guys. Appreciate you coming through, Sam. Good night. Sleep tight. Don't let the bed bugs bite. And if they do a poo and then blame it on your fella. Shit the bed and blame it on your fella. Just say must be your bad back. Must be your bad back. That's what you should do. Shit the bed and blame it on him. Yeah, till next time. Peace out, Sam. What is the time actually? It is 20 to 10. Okay, I'll go for a little bit more. I'll go for a little bit more because one has to go to bed soon as well. But I'll go for just a little bit more before we end today. I think the nightmare scenario when doing customer services dealing with someone with learning difficulties. Um, Not really, actually. I mean, it might depend on which specific customer service is, but in my experiences, that's not been an issue. Um, I mean, of course, there's issues when people, you know, don't understand certain things, but that's not down to learning difficulties. That's just down to not everybody understands insurance. You know what I mean, that's just life. But yeah, people with learning difficulties, in my experience, have not been an issue. In fact, for the most part, you won't even know whether they've got learning difficulties or not, because they're not going to bring it up because they don't need to. And as long as they can understand you or whatever, it might get mentioned, or some of them might mention something about having dyslexia or stuff like that. But yeah, it's at least in my experience, that's never been an issue. So yeah. When I worked as an electrician trying to explain electrics to able-minded people, it's hard enough. Okay, so it's a bit different with with electricians. But yeah, I just find that there's always gonna be things that people understand and things that people don't understand. But yeah, at least from my experience, talking to people with dyslexia or anything, yeah, that in itself wasn't an issue. I maybe you might have explained something a little bit more, but not to the point where you're like just I mean, for one thing, is like if you explain something to somebody and they don't understand it, then you explain it a different way, right? Because if you just repeat the same thing over and over again, they're not going to understand it. They've already said they don't understand what you said, so you have to try and explain it a different way. So it's always like whether they're dyslexic or not. Anytime somebody doesn't understand something, you just try to explain it in a different way, um, and then go from there. Also, just walk in. I felt mega awkward about just walking in some guy's house. He showed himself when he saw me in the kitchen. Oof. I mean, somebody must have let him know that you were coming, though, right? And I guess he would have had to leave the door open to know that you're coming. But still, though, that's kind of mad, though. They just walked it because what if somebody else walks into the house? You know what I mean? What if somebody else walks into the house and then starts stealing a bunch of stuff, and he wouldn't even know? Wouldn't even know. Repeat myself. I aim to simplify my words because it feels like I'm patronizing them. Um, I ain't gonna lie, man. That's probably a you problem. I feel that sounds like a you problem, to be honest with you. Like, I mean, if somebody doesn't explain something, you just have to say it a different way, and it's not patronizing if they don't understand something you said, and you have to explain it a different way. It's just is what it is. But I don't know. Yeah. If you feel bad about using different words. But then the problem is that if you use the same words and they still don't understand you, then you just have to repeat yourself. You're repeating yourself. They don't understand what you said. Repeat yourself. They don't understand what you said. So you have to change your words. And then now you feel bad. It's like, well, what can you do? Like you either repeating yourself and you don't like that, or you have to use different words and you don't like that. So yeah. I guess in the end, just don't work in customer services. That might be the answer. Jacob, just don't work in customer services. It's probably not a good idea. Probably not a good idea. He had a system where when his doorbell was pressed, it made his lights. Okay, yeah, okay. So he know when somebody was at the door. It was that system that wasn't what. Okay. It used to come up against a lot of drunk tenants. It was tough at times since I'm not a people person at all. If they're drunk while you're there and you're trying to work and just trying to do your thing and they're drunk bothering you, oof, but that's got to be tough. That's got to be tough. And especially if you're doing something dangerous as well and they're just bothering you while you're drunk and you know you can't concentrate properly and they might be knocking things over and generally just a grumpy guy. Well, at least you know. At least as long as you can admit it, then then you're moving in the right direction. But yeah, I think just with any job you do though, whether it's customer facing or not, any job you do is going to involve speaking to somebody at some point, right? You're either speaking to customers or you're speaking to colleagues or you're speaking to your boss. You're speaking to somebody or some combination of those things, right? But at some point you're speaking to somebody and a lot of times you're going to be speaking to somebody that you don't like for whatever reason, whether that's they're the rude type, they're the drunk type, um, they're the annoying type. It's just part of working life. At some point, you're going to speak to somebody you don't get along with, you'd rather not deal with, and when it's a part of the job or part of where you work, depending on, of course, the levels of annoyances and assuming they're not getting too like creepy or because that kind of thing, that's different. But it's something you just have to learn to deal with if you're working in that place and they're there and you're there. It sucks, but You have to find ways to cope, man. You have to find ways to cope. And one guy who walked in while we rewiring the kitchen. He didn't even live there, and he was touching the wires coming out of the wall, saying he wanted to electrocute himself. Oh, damn! Well, what's that? What's that? Um, what did we say? Survival? No. What's that? What's that phrase that people use when people do something stupid? Um, I can't remember. There's a phrase that people use when people do stupid things like that. I can't remember what the phrase it is, but it's something to do with like evolution or something. Something to do with evolution and survival. I can't remember how it goes, but that's coming to mind if I can even remember what the phrase is. Darwinism. Yeah, I think that's might be actually. I think that might be it. Darwinism. And 18 was off. That's nuts. Literally, it's a good job. The wires weren't live. At least I think it was a good thing. Yeah. Right. Speaking of which, though, have you ever electrocuted yourself as a as in your days as an electrician, or even but even not as an electrician? Have you ever electrocuted yourself? That's a question for everybody. Have you ever electrocuted yourself? I have once. Um, Completely my fault. Being stupid at the time. Um, but what happened is that the plugs. I don't have an example to show, but like the other 3-pin plugs, right? You could take the back off and you could change the fuse, right? So when I was young, I learned pretty easily how to change the fuse in a plug and how to, take the wires and re-screw them in and that kind of thing. If you need to change the plug around, how to take the wires out and replug. It's not hard, but it's something that I figured out how to do by myself by just opening up a plug and looking inside and seeing where things were kind of screwed. Um, so I would do that and just change the plugs. And I think one time I was just playing around with the plugs because that's what you do as a kid, kind of play around with the plugs or taking them apart. And for whatever dumb reason, I decided to plug it in, but I didn't actually put the back on. So it was like the open, where the fuses and the wires are. It was that open with no back cover on. And I just pushed it in into the socket, with my hands, fingers like that. And as soon as it went in, it was like, needless to say, I never did that again. I did not do that again. I was like, you know what? Lesson learned. Lesson learned. There was another guy who said he thought the smoke alarm was spying on him because it had an LED on it. Oh, damn. And he asked me to turn the volume down on it. Oof. I think when the volume's up on the smoke alarm, that's a good thing. Lets you know it's working. Also lets you know to leave the house. So turn the volume down by leaving the house, and then you don't hear it no more. Just make sure you call the fire brigade though. Yeah, I've had a few electric shocks. I got one off a video player when I was a kid. The type of shock where your muscles lock up and you can't let go. Ooh, that must have been yeesh. Luckily, my dad found me and knocks me away from it. Damn, indeed. Oh, that could have been way worse. Oof. A wooden brush handle. Oh, you knocked you away with a wooden brush handle. Okay. Um, I would have loved to see his facial expression when those folks was going for his body. Like Marv for Home Alone. That weren't that bad. I mean, it was really just a small shock because you feel it real quick and then you let go real quick. So at least I let go real quick anyway. So it wasn't a super bad shock. So it weren't like that, but it was definitely felt. It was definitely felt. But here's the thing about electricity, though, actually, and Reese, you'll know this, but it's actually not the voltage that's dangerous, or more specifically, voltage can be dangerous, but not as dangerous as you might think. What's really lethal, though, is the current. So it only takes a small amount of electric current to paralyze you and just a little bit more to kill you. So like that's the real dangerous bit is the current. So if the current flows through you, depending on like if it flows through anywhere like near where your heart is or your head, yeah, you're not surviving that. You're not surviving that. So if it passes like maybe through your leg or something, you might be okay, but yeah, you might be numb for a little while. Depending if it's like a really small one, or you could yeah, be paralyzed for a long time if it's high enough. But it doesn't have to be a lot of electric current to do some damage. So that's the real thing to look out for. Of course, voltage, yeah, avoid that too. But yeah, current is really what you're gonna look out for in terms of like lethality. That's right. Volts, jolts, but current kills. Is that the saying? Oh, nice. Volts, jolts, but current kills. That's one to remember. Volts, jolt, but current kills. So yeah, definitely gotta be careful with the actual current, especially if it goes through like round here. It's like you're probably not surviving that. But guys, it is about that time to say goodbye. I got to go to bed. I got to be up, get some stuff done, and then do some cab work in the afternoon to the evening as the plan for tomorrow and the rest of the week. Um, I used to accidentally shock myself so much as a kid. It took a while to learn. Accidentally, you used to do it as in multiple times. I mean, once is an accident, twice is unfortunate. Three times, that's a habit. Three times, no, that I think you might have liked the yeah, you might have liked the shock a little bit too much. Exactly. Well, either you liked it or you're a dumb kid. Well, I guess. Well, if you was a dumb kid, would you know you're a dumb kid? Would you be too dumb to know that you're dumb? Hmm, that's an interesting question. If you're a dumb kid, do you know that you're a dumb kid? Maybe if you stopped being a dumb kid, you could think back and be like, "Oh, actually, yeah, I was pretty dumb back then." But while you're dumb, do you know that you're dumb? Probably not. I promise you, I didn't do it intentionally. If you say so. Nah, I'm teasing. I'm teasing. But glad everybody's okay. Glad everybody's okay. We've all been electric shocked, and we've all survived those electric shocks. So and we're here to talk about it, here to tell the tale. But yeah, guys, you've been awesome as always. I appreciate you and all that you do. Thanks for keeping me company. Thanks for keeping it lively. And until whenever, if ever,